Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token Channel. Your host Superman in the house. Hope everybody is doing well, and you can hear me loud and clear. Now we've got the title of the video, man. Awesome. Pulsechain's largest airdrop in crypto history is almost here. It is getting extremely close. We're going to look at the updates from overnight, and of course I'm live streaming a few hours later today, so just the way it goes sometimes. And hopefully the timing's pretty good too, because lots of streams on this today, so you got to get in the gap. Got to get in the gap there for the streaming. So if you guys are enjoying it, here is Richard Hart, of course, looking like the boss man, and of course the last testnet, and that's by Gold Key, which I thought was pretty cool. The last testnet there, so I might actually screen that up there a little bit there so you can see the whole thing. I thought that looks a pretty impressive work there by Gold Key. So big shout out. Also wanted to say a big thanks to Kate Figure and his friend. Gave a very good, very generous support to the channel, so I appreciate that. That was a little while back. I didn't actually notice it come in, but a big shout out to Kate Figure and his friend. And of course, Kate Figure's just been on the Hex cruise with many other Hex skins. What was it, about 100 Hex skins, something like that? Maybe more, 120, 130. I'm not sure exactly the number. It was pretty good there. So a big shout out to Kate Figure and his friend for that support. Much appreciated. Let's get in the house. We've got JB in the house. Morning, Hex Token family. JB's super early in the morning there, 3 a.m. and struggling. But let's see if JB actually pops in. I did suggest to him that he goes to have a little bit of a rest. So hopefully he's done that as well. Welcome, Hex Token, says the Hex Token channel. Crypto Surfer, let's go mid-mash. Yeah, that kind of feels pretty good now. There's nothing really holding us back. So definitely feels like that could definitely is doable there. Could be any day, but there is a run sheet to run, and they have to fork off the Ethereum chain there, and we'll start our own Pulsechain, which is going to be amazing. Super cheap fees, which everybody will be relieved about the super cheap fees on the chain, and of course getting the biggest crypto airdrop in history. But not just one that's just a copy, but actually all the ecosystem is huge. That's coming with it. A whole giant ecosystem is going to drop within a matter of 8 weeks. Is going to be pretty amazing. First couple of days will be the main infrastructure with Pulsechain and Pulsex and the bridge and everything else like that. But then all the big DeFi's dropping as well within 8 weeks' time, including a lot of other infrastructure that is needed to make all these top DeFi's work, including oracles and things like that. So it's going to be fun to see it all played out. We see more DEXs emerging as well. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, we're really getting a lot of the cool stuff. And then after that, we've got a lot more top TVL stuff to come, delegated protocols, maybe like Lido and those kind of things coming, and optimizers, aggregators, all those sort of things coming in for yield as well, which are huge TVL projects, dApps. So we've got lots more coming. It's going to be in waves and waves of growth on the supply side. And then on demand side, just hundreds of thousands of people coming. It's going to be absolutely mad, crazy. Institutional investors, all that good stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun to see all that play out. A lot of the dApp protocols, Trust Wallet, all those sort of things. It's going to be fun to see it, whole thing just flourish, and it's well needed. Perfect timing for everything. I think Richard Hart is going to really change the game for DeFi and crypto with the Pulsechain launch. It's going to be really cool, and timing seems pretty good to me. Dave Dennon, Gomez and House, their Pulsechain launch imminent. Yeah, or imminent to Mayish. That's kind of where we are. It is definitely nothing really holding it back now. It's looking very good. David Gomez, pound that like button and let's celebrate delayed gratification. Congratulations to us all, 100%, David, and welcome to the chat there. Very nice words. Crypto Compassion House, hey everybody, good to see you as well. Just Hex a lot says stack my bags. What about you all? Are you ready? Let's go, Superman. 100% Hex a lot. Yeah, get those bags. We're going to actually go through one of my old lists of getting prepped for Pulsechain, so stay tuned for that. It's about halfway through the live stream. It's coming up. Afternoon, all. Superman. Good morning, Superman from Rango. Rango in the house, like a boss, man. Good to see you, Rango. See you pretty active on their Twitter there, Rango. Like it. It's really cool. Greg says, would love to walk through on the Earn protocol, staking PLSX live on V4. Hey, look, Greg, I've done that the other day. So I did that. I can't remember how, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. I've actually done 2 videos on it. One specialized video, you can go check that. But I did another one on a live stream just a couple of days ago. So yeah, complete walkthrough. We went through everything there. So you may want to check some of those videos there. PLSX, Hex, and incentive token for the win, says Rango, 100%. Lies beneath. Where's lies? Oh, lies. But Rango is here, never fear. We hope lies beneath as well. Archipelago and house there. Hi, all. Good to see Archipelago. What else? So we got Lions Wings as well. Good to see Lions Wings. And appreciate the comments, Lion Wings, that you put in the videos. Very, very cool. Archipelago says, suspiciously late live stream, Superman. Is it possible you have inside information from a dev in a time in the show to the Pulsechain launch? Joking, yeah. No, I do not have any inside information. As you guys know, first of all, I'm not on Telegram. So, yeah, no access there. I just try to read the info as soon as it comes in, just like you guys do. That's pretty much it. Who else is in here? Wookie's in the house there. Hi, all. Hex, EX, PLSX, incentive for the 100% Wookie. Rango and Lies Beneath, appreciate that. That's the golden strategy of this channel, and it's going to be a very, very popular one. Was there a line up at the coffee shop today, says Brennan? No, there was no line up at the coffee shop, but there is a backstory, but it's not worth talking about. Let's just leave it at that. What else? We got a few other people there. Putting Guru in the house there. G'day, Superman. Hey, Putting Guru, you're out there too, all over the place. I love it. G'day, Superman. Good to see you, Putting Guru. What else we got going here? Dave Down Under says Superman was up and away. That's a nice way of putting it, Dave. That's a nice way of putting it. Genuine in the house as well. Hey, Superman, we all missed you. Much love. Hey, Genuine, appreciate that. Yeah. So my show's a couple of hours late. What is it, about 4 hours late actually, from my normal time that I've been doing. Craig says possibly we could be live tomorrow, and gas prices were low earlier today, so bought another bag of Hex just in case. Nice one there, Craig. Yeah, the gas prices have been dropping, thank goodness. And I did expect it, especially after the Pepe coin is the Pepe. Yeah, that coin is pulling back as we expected, right? The hype is falling away. Cool. We will actually have a look at that coin to see where it's at the moment. But as soon as I saw it come off at top, the run was off. And sometimes they make a little double top, and it kind of did that. No, it was down. It was down. That should be expected. What else? Late night streaming, says KD, 100%. Who else is in here? We got Rev 10. Hey, Rev 10. It's been a while. Can see Rev 10. Pulse is here. Never fear. We got Hex Glenn as well. Hex Glenn, good to see you. Pulse Shenanigans, Hexkins. Hey, good to see Hex Glenn. And Kojo Sam, is it too late to buy some Hex for the Fork Snapshot? No, I don't believe so, Kojo. I don't believe so. Ivan Mandeep says, Kiora, how's the weather down the line? The weather's been raining in New Zealand. It's been pretty wet. We even had some flood warnings again. I think they're using the flood indicator a bit earlier now after that big storm that we had. So yeah. What else there? Pulsechain very close, says Jim Horton. Very close indeed. It is very close, Jim. It's not too late. The fork will happen when the mainnet launches. That's correct. Brennan's correct about that. So cool. Yeah, it's not. We only use the term snapshot in a very lighthearted manner, but really, it's imagine the chain's running along and it's got the blocks going, and eventually they choose one of those blocks to fork off, and so they take the whole data of that chain prior to that, go with it in the chain, rather than just being a snapshot. Maybe you take a bit of a list of the sacrifice wallets or something like that. Ivan Mandeep says, are there centralized exchanges that will support Pulsechain and Pulsex? We believe so. I believe there'll be probably a few of them, Ivan. I imagine that most top protocols will end up taking Pulsechain on, if not straight away, then pretty quick. Tintop, hey, look, they're going to want to follow the money, and the Pulsechain is going to help take over part of crypto, so they don't want to miss out on that. What's up, Hexkins from Tintop? What's up? Good to see you, Tintop. And what else there? We've got Robert online. Good to see Robert online. 555.555. 555.5, I should say. Nice one there, Robert. Appreciate it. Support, Robert. Good to see you as well. Big shout out to Robert there. We've got the waves as well. J-Man in house there. Mainnet and Snapshot are one and the same. Good to see you, J-Man. We are close, says Robert. We are close, Robert. Yeah, definitely for sure. Any day now, says J-Man, 100%. Aquaman KMX in the house there. Never underestimate a small group of highly motivated individuals. Pulsechain, Pulsex, Hex, let's go 100%. That is true. That is true. It's going to be pretty amazing. Double blessings in the house as well. Hello from Melbourne, all. Good to see you. Double blessings. We've got Pineapple Love as well. Woo, Superman, you got a game plan for your PLS, PLSX, and Hex and PX in the first 3 to 6 months? I do. I do have that. Using the Pulse bridge, can we bridge the likes of Hedron, Hex, Hedron, ACOSA directly to the PLS, or do we need to convert them to something first? Using the Pulse bridge, can we bridge the likes of Hex? Hex, you definitely can. Hedron, ACOSA. I'm not sure what they're going to have enabled at that time, but I think you can pull an address. I actually haven't checked that actually, so we might do that later on. Excuse me, directly to PLS, or do we need to convert them to something first? Yeah, I think there's a select amount of coins, but I'm not sure if you can actually add in a custom token. So we'll have to check that. No, you were wrong, boss. We really, we are really interested in what happened to the Man of Steel. They make a good movie, says Wookie. That's funny. Hello, Hex Token from Crypto Token. Good to see you. Very, very cool. So yeah, just back to this one around the strategy. You know, a lot of stuff I won't be doing. I won't be doing much at all. But I will be probably going into the pools to go for the incentive token. Yeah. That will be, and I did a video on that the other day, didn't I? Pulse X yield farming, so you can check that out. It's called Strategy Profit and Permanent Loss. So if you want to check that video out, I did the other day. Had some good feedback from that, which is really nice. It's about an hour and a half long, but we go through pretty much everything from beginner through to sort of intermediate level. So definitely check out that video. Yeah. So definitely, I want to chase some of that incentive token. I will be doing that myself, which is not a conservative strategy as much. It's a sort of an intermediate risk strategy. So for many people, they'll just be doing nothing. Some people will be doing sort of that mid-range risking to get more than incentive token. And then, of course, some people will be fully risk on. So that's, that's for them to do. So, yeah. All right. What else? Here is so pretty cool. I like the artwork on this. Is brilliant. I mean, it looks great in that. The last test net, indeed. So let's get to Pulsechain. Let's have a quick look at some of the performance of Pulsechain at the moment before we get into some of the dev update there. And we're going to have a look at the block scout first. We've got 2 explorers. Remember, one for the sort of the chain, and it's slowly ticking up there. We've got 12.5 second block time, so it's on a little slow side there. And we're targeting 10 seconds. And we've got 66.7 million wallets in there at the moment. Chains is pretty much ticking over pretty nicely. Let's go to the other beacon chain, have a look at the testnet there. And we can see that we're up to epoch 7288. Remember with these terminologies that one epoch is about 5.5 minutes long if these slots are 10-second time frames, and there's 32 slots in an epoch. So that's kind of the way we get the two on that. And an epoch will generally have, a slot will generally have a block in it. And you can see that down here, most recent blocks. So we've got epoch 7290, the latest slot there, 233299. We've got a new one there now, and it's got a block in it. So pretty cool. Every slot has about 128 validators. One of them is a proposer, and the rest of them are testators there. They test the blocks. They all get paid from the block reward and uncle fees and things like that. So it's pretty cool in there. That's pretty much it. So let's see where we're up to on the total number of validators. 6,304 at the moment. So we have come off. We're up at 6,664, 6,664. We're just down from there. I've had quite a bit of movement in the validators. Now, as I understand, they'll be running this testnet in parallel, as I understand it, so they can do testing and EIP upgrades and things like that. So that's the way I understand it, based on a tweet from Brett Paulson some time back. Now, to be a validator, 32 million pulse. We'll see how we get on there. And I see the GUI at the moment super high. So maybe somebody's pushing a lot of transactions through at the moment. What have we got going through? Yeah, we've got huge transactions going here at the moment. So there's probably the reason for the average block time there being pushed up. We've got 820 transactions in this block alone, 124 in this block alone. So it still looks like quite a bit of testing going on there. Let's have a look at this here, where we're up to. Yeah, gas limit there, 86% of the gas limit used, 30,000. So I'm not sure what sort of transactions are going through here. Token transfers, transaction successes. So that sort of thing going through there at the moment. So still a lot happening there. What are we doing? Transactions yesterday, 193,000 went through on the 9th of May. So yeah, if we keep getting these sort of transaction lists going through, almost 1,000 on each block. Look at the reward on each of them. So 0.259 is the block reward there. 0.299, 0.299. So they're really maxing these things out quite a bit there. So pretty huge. Now, when we got up to this one here, when we did 4.6 million the other day on the 5th, it was something like, just off the top of my head, it was something like 53 transactions per second or so, which is pretty amazing. So we'll see how we get on there. All right, so I think that's some of the highlights there. Let's have a look to the gas now and have a look at the performance. We can see, yeah, I don't know why it's got really high here, but it's not showing up on the hourly yet, so I'm not sure whether this just jumped up temporarily. Someone's just temporarily pushing through a lot of transactions at the moment, but the gas prices look pretty high there as well. We can see that happening. 2 beats, got 2 beats on there. Interesting. Not sure why they disconnect there. All right, let's jump over to some of the dev updates here. So this is the big stuff that people have been talking about, is what's been happening on the GitLab with Pulsechain. And of course, yesterday we had all these lovely updates that caused quite the stir about Pulsechain soon. And we got the compressed allocations get pushed through yesterday by SJB. Where were we up to on that one? Yeah, mainnet started showing up on there as well. And then today we have gone into some updates here where Brett Paulson approved this number 11 for mainnet with the compressed allocation. So very bullish there. And typically we've seen only a couple of days later that we've had the actual mainnet or test nets in the past go live. So we'll see. Now they may not have exactly the same time frame, but the run sheet's gonna probably happen sooner than later. So yeah, that's why everyone's so excited, because any time now this thing can launch. Could be mid-May, could be in a day or two, could be pretty quick. So looking pretty cool here. Now a couple cool thing here that got approved here by Bretep here, got approved. I'll just make this a little bit bigger. So you can see Bretep's face there. That's Bretep there. And of course you can see the different request review 1 day ago. And then of course Brett approved it 5 hours ago. So pretty cool there. You can see SJB there putting some hearts in there after that, which I think is pretty funny. But it's got Shanghai update block height, and then it's got enabling with Joules. Now I think this block height here is in April, this one. It's got a message from Pulsechain devs. Thank you for securing Ethereum and delaying verification, which is kind of cool in there. So that's nice. Right, let's jump back from out of there. So that was kind of the cool news that people were getting excited about that, which is pretty nice. And you can see the heart there from SJB. So pretty cool. Now let's go quickly to let me just refresh this page first of all. Just make sure there's nothing else yet. And let's have a look at the member activity. So that's caused all the stir. We are very close. Let me just back out of there. A little bit too close there. May the 10th, we've had 9th of May, we had 3 commas in there. May the 10th, we had Bretep. May the 10th, Gamma. What else there? May the 9th there, Space Ghost. May the 10th there, SJB. And SJB and Brett there in 3 commas been posting a lot of stuff in there. Now, the last time that Richard Hart was in there was May the 4th. And typically that's been a pretty good blue clues, a bit of a leading indicator. So if we do see him pop in there, we'll probably have a good chance, maybe a good indicator that we're actually getting that move on with Pulsechain mainnet. So we'll keep a tab on that over the next 24 hours, maybe tomorrow, next day, we'll see. But that's pretty cool. We've also been following Bretep's tweets a lot on Twitter. So we'll be watching that as well. As cool. So let's let me just open this up. I didn't actually open this up yet. So let's go to Pulsex and have a look at Pulsex as well. We've got more news about Pulsex. We're going to talk about that. So let's bring that up. So we had 3 commas 9th of May, Agris on the 10th of May, Brett the 10th of May, 9th of May, Hines in there as well on May the 9th, Lucas in there on the May the 10th as well. So pretty good activity turning over Pulsex there. So it's kind of cool. But let's jump back to before we do that, let's get into some of Bretep's updates, and then we're going to jump back to Pulsechain the bridge, which has had a cool update on that, which everyone likes as well. Now, just to clarify this, people asking around the snapshot and the fork. Well, we talked about this yesterday, but Bretep, I want to remind her, Bretep said snapshot is simple to understand, while fork is too technical for most people. Pulsechain is a hard fork of Ethereum mainnet. All assets up to that block will be byte for byte the same. In other words, all the past chains going to be the same, right? So all the previous blocks and transactions, the history is coming with the Pulsechain fork, mean that everything up to that block will exist on Pulsechain. So whatever block they choose, it's going to be the history is going to be included, which means that after that, you can imagine chain going together and then forking off at that particular block that they choose, and then they're different. They're completely different from that block onwards. But if that block in the past, they're the same. So that if you had assets in that final block, then that's what's going to be copied over into the Pulsechain. So if you manage to have your assets in that's the way to go. So we're going to talk about that in the top 8 steps that I got coming. We're going to go back to an old presentation they had, and still, I think it's pretty accurate still. So that is just, I wanted to go through that one more time. Let's jump in through to the updates today, though, for his updates, which is pretty cool. Let me just see here. Now, this caused a stir yesterday on the 9th. We had Bretep, can you translate, please? And this was one of the updates yesterday. And, of course, this caused all the stir for our video yesterday with the smiley face. Obviously, it is coming soon there, coming soon with the mainnet activity there and the sacrifice snapshot. So pretty cool. Snapshot, I should stop using that word, but everyone's using it these days. That's just a lazy word. But anyway, so that is kind of cool. Let me just jump through here. Now, he's been posting on some comedy stuff here that he found funny from Extranaut. I'm going to go past that. Now, your friend Somi, who's out there on Twitter, YouTube, he posted this Pulsechain could launch at any time. He's posted this docked up looking picture from Jim Cramer. Pulsechain will not launch anytime soon. He's got the date in there, 9th of May 2023 from Earth, which is hilarious. So docked it up there, and I got Bretep's attention there with the smiley faces. So I thought that was pretty fun. Pulsechain could launch at any time, which you always take the opposite position of Jim Cramer, right? Because he's wrong so much. So that's kind of the joke there. He just posted this. He just posted this a little bit. Oh, we will go back here. He just posted some more. We got the latest ones here. Let's go here. It looks like he's retweeted that. Sometimes I wonder if people like Elon Musk know about Pulsechain. Do you think we can get him to this tweet? Rules Elon Musk be on this Gulf Stream G50 error and like while using the SpaceX Starlink there. So the attracting attention of Elon Musk, this old Bretep, the Pulsechain dev. Nearly 2 years with this being incorrect. Oh my, Bretep, Pulsechain dev, which is pretty funny. I'm not sure what that referring to there, Bretep. Pretty hilarious. What else there? 12 minutes ago, he just came off this. Richard Hart win. Look what I found on Pulsechain testnet v4, and he's got this here as well. What is this? 31,000. Pulsechain mainnet will melt faces. Thank you, Richard Hart and devs P Chad X. Oh, that's pretty funny. All right, so someone put that there on one of the blocks from the looks of it. All right, one of the transactions, I should say. That's funny, and yeah, cool. And that was 30 minutes ago, was it? Yeah, so that's the last bit there. We can actually see that on the testnet as well. Let's have a look at that. Was it down here on the? Yeah, there under UFX, UTF-8 Pulsechain mainnet will melt faces. Thank you, Richard Hart and devs P Chad X there, which I believe, if I remember right, is one of the guys that was pushing through all the transactions on the blockchain, which was pretty funny. Right, let's jump through some. Let's see if any responses to that. There's Pulsechain there. There he is. Nice find. So I'm sure he must have been helped with that find, I'm sure. But that was pretty funny. Seems like launch rule this month. Thank you, Bretep, and your team for all you have done. Nice one. What else there? Very, very cool. So some nice updates there from Bretep. That's kind of the latest there, but he is tweeting at the moment, so we'll keep a tab on that. Very, very cool. Now, the other thing we wanted to go to was the Pulsechain bridge, which has had some cool news. And Pulsechain bridge here has got this update message. Testnet v4 this message will go away when the Pulsechain mainnet bridge is live. So that's kind of cool. Another little bit of FOMO there. This message will go away when the Pulsechain mainnet bridge is live. So get excited about that. Very, very cool. Now, talking about stuff from the other chain, at the moment, someone asked that question earlier about what tokens to bridge over a wallet. At the moment, you can add a custom coin. So, yeah, you can add your own coin there, I guess, to bridge that over. Just need a contract address there. But the ones that are sort of preloaded, at least from memory, I don't think I've imported some of these. They've got a whole list in here already. They've got ETH, Hex, wrapped ETH there, TDAI, and a PLSX there. So yeah, DAI is probably going to be a popular stable coin. Sacrifice wallets holding DAI. It's kind of the main one being used for the testnet. And we've got the incentive and the yield farming for Pulsex being in DAI. So DAI definitely seems to be the stable of choice. As opposed to just purely USDC or the USD Tether to start off with. And of course, post Pulsechain, we'll have our own native, at least 3 to 4 native stable coins on Pulsechain within probably within 8 weeks. So yeah, who's going to be first? I'm kind of feel possibly Coast might be first, and then maybe the USDL from Liquid Loans and the PXDC from Power City Earn protocol are probably going to be in that order. I'm just taking a guess there because it just seems the banking one should be able to set up much faster. Whereas I don't know, I'm not sure the background behind Earn protocol and the Oracle use as opposed to Liquid Loans waiting for its Oracle to set up with Teller to set that up. And they've given us a slightly later date now. Which is more like 8 weeks rather than, well, let's say 4 to 8 weeks. They were sort of like on back end now. So we'll see how they get with their timing. But presumably the Earn protocol needs good Teller oracles as well. So depending on what path they're taking. But they need plenty of price calls to make that robust because there's a lot riding on those price calls, right? So we'll see what ends up on the technical side of things. But that's kind of cool. So nice one on that. Looking very cool. This message will go away and Pulsechain mainnet bridges live. I like that. That's bullish, man. That's bullish. So cool. So that's basically the updates at the moment on the chain. I'm not sure we've missed anything else there. Pulsex. Let's have a quick look at Pulsex before we go into some of the hopium. We'll get into the hopium side of things in a second. We're always going to have a bit of hopium, right? Besides just the mainnet launching, which is pretty hopium by itself. We've seen to have the Pulsex at 3.41, and it looks like it went from 1 to 1 to 3.4 to 1, and it seems to be this favor, right? So we know that a lot of people want Pulse, right? They missed out on Pulse. There are a few people that want Pulsex because they only got a small amount of Pulse, but there's going to be a lot of people that sacrificed that are wanting to accumulate, right? A lot of Pulse, more Pulsex. But there are big whales that will sell down. They're the ones that are going to redistribute because they don't need as many big X's to get big money, right? So they're going to redistribute their coins. So there are opportunities to pick up good deals are always going to be there, even with super strong demand, because you're going to have suppliers willing to supply that demand and for a price, right? So there we are. But at the moment, we can see that over the week, we've got up to 3.95 all the way down to 3.1 at the moment. So it's going to be interesting. Now, this has been kind of consistent on all test nets, between maybe 2.5 and 4. Yeah, we'll see what it actually is in real life when the real thing goes. But I mentioned it's probably going to have this trend to start off with, but that may turn as time goes, as the power of Pulsex buy and burn and all the activity takes its toll. We will see. But of course, the upgrade for Pulsechain with the 25% fee burn and the high APY and stuff like that for validators definitely puts a lot more pressure on the Pulse now. So it's going to be fun to see it play out. I'm hoping that Pulsex will be the first, not just super DEX competing against all the other big DEXs out there in the centralized exchanges, but be a mega DEX and beat out the layer 1 chain. That'd be cool. I don't care. I'm wishing them all well, but it'd be pretty cool to make some history here. That'd be pretty neat. So that is pretty much it on there. As you guys know, I did a video on liquidity farming the other day. You can check all those out, and here's some of the farms. And you're wondering which tokens are going to be the ones that, well, obviously Richard Hart, right? The whole thing, all projects are welcome to do well. but of course the whole system is designed to pump Richard Heart tokens, and of course they are the gold standard of crypto. They'll be the gold standard of Pulsechain, and of course the gold standard of DeFi, and DeFi is going to take over more of crypto market share, and you can see how that all goes together. Pulsex, of course, Pulse is the top farm there. A DAI Pulse there is the farm. So if you're looking at bridging over DAI, there we are. There's an obvious option for you to go into the Pulse pool, and you can see why people are going to come over, right? They're going to come over for this APR here as well. And then, of course, the incentive Pulse and incentive Pulsex are also going to be popular. So you're going to see people, even though there's incentive tokens being given out as the incentive token, it's going to be supply synced in some of these liquidity pools to some degree. And of course, the incentives are there for people to put in their incentive tokens and lock them away, even though that's the Ocean's coin for the incentive. Remember, Pulsex is a dual token with Pulsex with the buy and burn, and of course, the incentive token there as well for the yield farmers. So the big money is going to be chasing this stuff, and so will the speculators on top of that. So it's going to be pretty neat to see. We can see the big APRs at the moment. What will it actually be? They always start off high. Obviously, more liquidity comes in, and they go down. Two key components, well, three key components really, and is the amount of liquidity in there. Obviously, at high APR, people are going to flood into that for the high APR, but also the farm multiplier. Right. So, excuse me, the farm multiplier here. You can see the farm multiplier under details. It's got a 40x for these two here. So these two here have got a 40x multiplier on the incentive PLS and incentive PLSX. So people are locking those all the way, so that's good. Supply syncs, people are going to be able to trade them too, and of course more buy and burn. It's all bullish, right? Everything's bullish. You got supply syncs, you got the buy and burns. It's just crazy good, right, for PulseX. So pretty neat. And then of course you've got the top two there with 10x farm multipliers, which you can see on the farms there as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how these vary. There's a 10x there on that one. It's going to be interesting to see how these vary over time. And of course, the incentive tokens, got a decreasing emission curve over time as well. So it's going to be pretty bullish. Let's have a look at the prices at the moment. Hopefully they're going to pop up for me. You can see we've got the volumes coming through the market at the moment, up in the couple hundred billions marks. And of course, let's have a look. We've got Pulse at 21 cents. Now, Pulse was at 21 cents. All of you would be dancing out in the streets, so we'll look forward to that. And Pulsex, they're at 6 cents at the moment. So they're both up 30%, maybe on the bullish news of Bretep's approval of SJB's addition there on the GitLab. So it's pretty cool. Incentive tokens up 25%. It'd be pretty amazing if we saw that incentive token at 14,000. So anyway, these are just testnet prices. We will have to wait and see what the chain will be. I'd imagine you have to scale these prices down quite a bit for the mainnet launch as well. And of course, there are always dips in the games, so remember that. That's also true. All right, let's get into some of the Hypopium note. We're going to move away from there. Oh, before we do that, though, let's go to the buy and burn and see what that is at the moment. And this is going to be a key number. People are going to be talking about this all the time, right? Especially influencers will be coming back to this buy and burn all the time. 11.39 billion burns so far on Pulsex. This is just a test net. Only a fraction of people are playing on this network testnet. A lot of people are just waiting for the real thing. So you can see that this doesn't actually reflect users because most people are just waiting for the real thing and then they come on. It's just the early adopters that get on and start testing. But I do encourage you to do that if you can. All the links in the video description as well, and our Discord under useful links. Let's get into some of the Hopium. We can see some of these charts here. Many of you will see this table's been around. There's a couple of tables that go around with how high price can go. There's a bit of Hopium just to move into the day after we're expecting Pulsechain any time to launch. The biggest airdrop in crypto history is truly about to land, and it's got all the things that you need with it. The big ecosystem, the on-ramp, off-ramps, the fiat gateways, and of course the multi-chain, over 63 chains on Portal X. It's really going to have true access to capital from the fiat world and from crypto. It's going to be glorious. And then we've got some people saying now 180 to 200 projects around the place as well coming to the chain that are native. And of course, we've got the economic engines, the big buy and burn, the airdrop, the super cheap fees, super fast transactions, copy of Ethereum network, the incentive for yield farming, the potential war chest and DAI stables from the Sacrifice wallet, over 630 million. So we don't know, no expectations on that. But big liquidity pools, the AMM bot. There's lots of huge financial underpinnings to this behemoth that's about to drop on crypto. So it's a win-win across the board, right? So it's going to be fun to see. Yeah, pretty awesome opportunities. You can see some of the X returns here. We've got BNB at 33x here. We've got Solana there at 1200 X there, Luna at 1000, FTM at 2200. You can see across all these different chains that you've got an average of 656x over a 1.4 year period. But none of these things, perhaps with the exclusion of BNB, had anything close to the tokenomics that Pulsechain is about to launch with. So really, really exciting to see where this is going to go. Really, really excited indeed. So we know probably we've got at a minimum 300,000 people involved at a very minimum. And of course, once the airdrop's out, there's hundreds of thousands of people going to come for that over time. Some people won't discover their airdrops for a long time, but that's going to be the case. So it's going to be fun, a lot of fun to see that play out. And of course, all the big institutions and liquidity funders and everyone else. So stay tuned. Now, what does this suggest to you, this X returns? What does it say? It says to you that typically accumulating positions over the first, say, 6 to 18 months are very important for the chain and for getting those high yield returns. So it's food for thought. Typically, not the couple of week game. That's for traders, but for investors, inverted quotes, is accumulating in the first 6 to 18 months. It's kind of the play there. So very, very cool. All right, let's get into a bit of a recap here. I did this presentation a while ago, the top 8 things to know before Pulsechain launches. So we're going to get into that. And I thought it'd be a nice little refresher before we get into the market updates. So let's see where we are here. So Ethereum there, we've got about 231 million wallets there on Ethereum. And of course, that's going to get forked over the Pulsechain. We've got a lot of other chains out there, of course, tons of them. PortalX is now supplying up to over 63 chains, I believe, for the cross-chain super aggregator bridge. And so that's pretty bullish. And we've got centralized exchanges, of course, and that's out there too. And then, of course, we're going to have Pulsechain, PulseX, and we're going to have a whole ton of array of third-party ecosystems, yield farming, third-party dApps, etc., tied into PulseX potentially, and one-sided staking pools potentially, but maybe not straight out of the gate there, which will be super popular for the retail book. So kind of cool. Now we're obviously going to connect to all that with bridges, and obviously PortalX is going to play a key role. PortalX is also going to use the official bridge, which is the Pulse Ramp bridge. So we'll have the official bridge, their Pulse Ramp between Ethereum and Pulsechain. In the middle there, you can see is the Pulse Ramp. It's going to be pretty cool. So nice. We're going to have, obviously, it's good to keep, if you're going to be, running from the beginning, good to keep a good profit and loss, maybe on a spreadsheet or something, keep track of your portfolio. But yeah, your wallets as well of other chains. So if you've got stuff on the centralized exchange or other wallets or other exchange, you really want to get them off into your own wallets, your bank, your keys, your coins. And of course, if you want to get your copies from Pulsechain, you need to have them on the Ethereum blockchain. So remember, very important to remember that. I can't remember what my 5 and 6 positions are, but we're going to come up to that. Yes, so number 8 there. So that is kind of a summary there of what we're going to talk about next. So these top 8 things are reflective in that chart. Probably should have this other way around. But pre-launch, accumulate ERC20s, 721s, 1155s. So your NFTs, you want to get copied over, accumulate those. So obviously we're talking about tokens there with the ERC20s, NFTs with 721s, bit of a mixture with the 1155s, contracts on Ethereum. So you can accumulate your favorites. Maybe it's SHIB, maybe it's Link, maybe it's Hex, whatever it's going to be. You can have a look at the top order and think what is going to be priced up from 0 the most. Those are the ones you should go for, right? Sometimes it's also good to go for someone's tokens that other people you think is going to get priced up really well, but don't. That a lot of people are not talking about. Sometimes those can be a very good opportunity to pick up as well. Now, we know obviously people like the SHIB community are going to be coming over to Pulsechain. We already had a lot of indications from them already. So there's some easy low-hanging fruit there. Set up spreadsheet, of course, with your own cost and revenue numbers to track over time, including SAC balances. Don't wing it, be organized. Don't just wing it all the time. Otherwise, you're almost gambling because you don't think about whether you're making a profit or whether it's a good decision that you're making. You're not thinking much about it. You're just sort of degening, as it were. And then, of course, get your ETH tokens off centralized exchanges and other exchanges transferred to your wallets. You have keys, your coins. You can't be guaranteed that any exchange is going to give you any of the copies on Pulsechain. And that's a wild card, right? Pulsechain ownership of tokens. It's always a wild card on the in the terms of the airdrop. And of course, will they use those in turn to provide liquidity on that? Will they turn that into their internal value creation on their own exchanges, or will they give them actually the people that have actually given them a copy? Those sort of things. Because once it goes, you transfer the centralized exchanges, goes into their wallets, right? So will they give you the credit on their internal accounts? That's the question, and you're pretty much most likely to say no on that. So definitely put it in. All right, practice on the testnet PulseX bridge validators. So obviously people have been doing that. We've been doing on this channel, apart from validating, getting on there. With validators, of course, there's RH Max, there's Hodl Dog, there's David Feder, there's Gamma from the Pulsechain team. All those guys have been putting out a lot of great videos, including David Feder with the hardware. So there's lots of cool stuff there. You can get resources. We have got some of those under our useful links in our Discord as well. Definitely do that. So cool. So yeah, get those assets in, be organized, get your favorite tokens, and of course practice ready, for doing trading, just so you're familiar with the platforms. And we've done a ton of video on this channel and on other YouTuber channels as well. Post-launch bridge. We're still expecting this kind of rollout. Now, this is subject to change, of course, from the team, but this is typically what we've expected over time is the pre-bridge estimate 1 to 2 days to trade for ERC20's stable price. So if you've got your airdrops, if you've got your sacrifice accounts, you have potential to pre-trade. This is the expected time frame. Whether they change this much on actual mainnet, we will see. And of course, pre-bridge estimated 1 to 2 days to trade before ERC20 stable prices up on PRC20s. We know that they've fine-tuned this from the testnet, so it's going to be faster than what we just saw with V4. Do nothing or be careful timing ratio trading. So typically best strategy is to do nothing because of volatility and to see what the pools are, and also what the AMM bot will do, both setting up the liquidity pairs and PulseX after harvesting the wrapped ETH pairs, but also what it does post that as well with any price setting that it may do in the future. Do nothing, including the OA sacrifice accounts as well. Do nothing or be careful timing. Be careful timing ratio trading. So good luck with that, because that no one can really help with that. We just have the testnet. Testnet's kind of showing the price seems to be drifting always to about 3 to 1. We'll see whether that does happen in reality, subject to the market at the time. But we do know a lot of people still want to get a lot of Pulse that missed out on Pulse because there was so few counts. We're talking about 42,000 on the main chain. I think it was around about that marks, and so not many people got that, as opposed to about 135,000 or more for the PulseX one. So you can sort of see there's a huge 3.5 ratio difference here or so, and quite a few people went to PulseX to get their Pulse. So if you were not around for that, it's sort of a bit of a recap, and so there is that pressure from existing people in the ecosystem, and of course that's just the people playing in PulseX. But since then, of course, we've got so many other people coming that there's going to be demand from all circles. So I'm expecting big demand for Richard Hart tokens in particular from a lot of people that sacrifice, to be honest, except for perhaps the larger holders potentially, but definitely from the retail book, expecting a lot more demand on Pulsex incentive token, Hex, of course, and so expect to see a lot of that. The other one, of course, is expecting to see a lot from people that sacrifice on Pulsex but not Pulsechain. They want to get more Pulsechain, so expecting that still to be the case. And then, of course, all the people with airdrops, maybe they've got no sacrifice whatsoever. They'll be looking to try and pick up some of Richard Hart's tokens if they've got informed, if they've actually picked up the idea. Oh, actually, those are the tokens that are going to be the golden standard. Those are the Richard Hart ones. Then they're going to be going for it too. And then on top of that, then you've got everybody else coming over from the other chains, Ethereum, other chains, all coming in to try and get PulseX, and so you can sort of imagine there's a lot of competing forces there. But generally, demand should be pretty high. Now, the only thing to offset that at any particular time is if some of the bigger sacrifice wallets, and of course we know wallets like DO1 might be one of those, they only need a couple extra turns and they can redistribute their coins, and of course they want to get paid for that. So when they see the price go up, they go, hey, I'm gonna drop a billion here, a billion Pulse here. This is the sort of play, whatever they're going to do, because they've got lots of it, right? So There are different players in the game. There's always, even with huge demand, there's always dips in the game. There's always momentum, always volatility. There's always those things. So it's always good to have that. So nice. All right, then of course number 6, considering accumulating RH tokens, and consider some good other PRC ones as well. SHIB top 50, 100. Typically likely appreciation. Remember, they start from 0. So a lot of people are going to be looking at those too. So some people might go for that. They might go for, I've picked up enough of my Richard Hart tokens. I'm going to start trying to pick up some of these more speculative ones, top coins that may end up getting priced up over time. And so, you can think about that too. Just go through the list of Ethereum coins on Gold, CoinGecko or something like that. Be able to see that. Post-launch, post-bridge, of course, maybe 1 or 2 days later. We'll see what the exact timing is. Maybe it's save, and of course the bridge dry powder. So save some dollars for Bridge Pro and bridge that over to buy your favorite tokens in the first few months. I'm not sure what happened to my front of my line there, but that's basically, we had people doing that. They've got a bit of dry powder as well. So maybe, and I think probably the best one is probably going to be DAI out of that, of course. And I made that case earlier, is that get your DAI and then or whatever other coins you're going to bring over, and then you can go and purchase some of your favorites as well on the market if you miss the ratio trading period. So yeah, low price, high risk, later high price, low risk is what I've got here. So definitely get on to that later on, because once people price the assets up and they get more stable price floors, obviously it's a higher price, but there's a lower risk. That's pretty much where it goes. When there's a lower price, there's a lot more risk, but obviously there's a lot of upside. Earn yield in low risk opportunities. That's the other thing that people are going to be doing, and there's going to be plenty of those opportunities on Pulsechain. It's not going to be an empty chain at all. It's going to be quite full when it launches within 8 weeks. So you're going to have a lot of the top TVL projects on Ethereum will be on Pulsechain, and then I imagine we're going to have a lot more come after that, like Rocket Pool, like all the like Beefy and all those sort of aggregator optimizers. They're all going to come too, and we already see early signs from Power City trying to lead the way on a lot of that sort of stuff. So yeah, validators, of course, going to be a nice conservative, safe way of doing that. You still own your tokens when you do a validator, but you're going to have 32 million Pulse to that. So it's going to cost you, even a sacrifice price, it's something like $3,200, or maybe slightly higher on the mean price for validator. But imagine if Pulsex 10x's, 100x's, then obviously it's going to become more expensive, like Ethereum, to be a validator. So people are going to get Pulse for that too. Liquid loans, of course, those are a lot more long-term people. Liquid loans, of course, stable coins, zero interest lending, all sorts of stuff. Power City, of course, things like that with the Earn protocol. And then, of course, that's more like 6 to 8 weeks later, probably. And then farms and pools. Obviously, farming, you can do farming on Pulsex. Those 4 are going to be the most popular ones. And of course, liquidity pools, providing liquidity for other farms. You earn fees from doing that. So if you've got stable coins, 2 stable coins together, maybe you're going to have DAI and USDL stable coin and have that up and running. Now, we also know Liquid Loans already announced that they're going to be giving incentive token for a period of time to people to fund their liquidity pools. So you already know that third-party dApps, remember Liquid Loans had over $50 million sacrificed for it. So you already know that those protocols are already going to incentivize people. So it's pretty exciting. Other ones like Power City, of course, if you've got the Watt token, sacrifice is still open at the moment. I see they just went over $10 million in sacrifice, which is pretty amazing. So I think that makes them top 5, if I remember rightly. So yeah, you're going to have them with, if you have the dual token with the Watt token staked, and you're enjoying the fees that are all buying Pulse. So Power City is all the fees from all the utilities that they're going to have, including Portal X, going to be buying Pulse, and the Earn protocol buying Pulse, and of course people are going to be able to impulse and Pulse X on there. It's going to be pretty awesome. So that's pretty neat, right? That's we talk about continuing buying, and Pulsex, we have all the trades buy Pulsex and burn, and you could imagine in Power City, that's another thing that's going to be buying Pulse, just non-stop buying Pulse and giving it back to people that I guess are going to be more long-term holders for the most part in the Power City protocols. So you can see there's lots of cool mechanisms like that. Liquid Loans, of course, takes Pulse in. That's a supply sync for Pulse. So on one hand, we've got Power City that's always buying Pulse for fees and using their fees to buy Pulse. And then on liquid loans, you've got people sinking their pulse in there, and that means it's off the market, and they're getting some stable coin. Maybe they're going to go buy more pulse with that. So you see what I mean? It's all pretty pumpamentals are fantastic and things like that. So it's pretty neat. The farms, of course, people might take their farm earnings and maybe they're going to keep buying more Pulse and Pulsex with it. So you can sort of see how the gold and cryptos keep running. Or maybe they're going to go buy a whole ton of SHIB. Maybe they're going to say, well, SHIB's so underpriced. And I see the community starting to get a bit more alert about that. So I'm going to buy a ton of SHIB and just sit on it and see whether it has a run. So you're going to get speculators like that too. It's really going to be quite fun to see. Then there's other protocols, right, that might come, and also things that didn't work so well because the high gas fees on Ethereum work well on Pulsechain. So maybe they'll be up and running too. So we'll be looking out for those. So just some of the stuff there. That's pretty much it on the presentation, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a little recap. So yeah, we're going to get into the crypto markets. So before we do that, let's catch up on some of the comments. And see what we were up to here. We got up to Robert Online. Big shout out to Robert. And the 555.5, love it. And of course, what else there? We got double blessings. We got up to double blessings. Definitely got up to those questions. We answered those two questions, answered that one and answered that one. What else there? Crypto Tycoon. Hello, Hex Token. Good to see you. Scott Jackson as well. Good afternoon, all. Brett put out a tweet about Beat Found. Yeah, we looked at that, so that's cool. Answered that one too. Thanks, Brett, genuine. Cheers from sunny Miami. We could be hours away, says Umberto. Definitely getting very close, that's for sure. But maybe not. Maybe not. We could be hours away. We'll see. Cryptos and cookies and crypto in house. Putting Guru Superman for lunch today rather than breakfast. Yeah, it seems that way. It seems they're a bit later today than I normally am. So yeah. Hello Superman. All future Pulse chainers. Happy to be here. Are we late? No, you're fine, Danny. You're fine. I'm late. What did the latest Brett mean? Someone just put that little note on there, just thanking the team for what they're doing. Jay Cedera says mainly imminent. Yeah. One of the guys that was testing the chain with all those transactions put that on there. I'm not sure how. You must have got notified about it though, unless they're able to pull that up, unless it comes up on some internal diagnostic. Mainnet imminent, says Jay Cedera. Yep, it's getting imminent. Imminent could be 2 weeks, but it's definitely very close. There's nothing really holding back mainnet. So we're expecting a fork anytime now, anytime. But obviously once it happens, then you don't get your copy. So you got to get your copy on, got to get all your assets on Ethereum before it's too late. That's all we can say. Not financial advice, but you know how we roll. We are so early. We are so near, says Danu, 100%. We've got David Morales in the house. Hey, David, good to see you. So close. That's true. So close. Andrew Reynolds as well. Hi, everybody. Looking forward to the launch, 100%. Superman Day time show. Nice one, says Matt. Hey, Matt. Good to see you. Hey, Matt, I accidentally deleted one of your comments of my other channel. I apologize for that because I had all these spam comments on Superman Crypto and I accidentally deleted one of yours. So I apologize for that, Matt. I never responded to it. Sorry. I can't bring them back either. So, yeah, my bad. Kate Figures in the house. What's up, Superman and family? We are all part of such a great community, 100%. And once again, Kate, a big shout out to you. And, of course, a big thanks to your friend for your lovely gift and support of this channel. Much appreciated as usual. Mr. D says, g'day, all and Superman. Will you go straight to the incentive farm or wait for a certain ratio, 1 to 3? Pulsex. Yeah, I'm not in that position that I need to wait, Mr. D. It just depends what your starting position is. But yeah, I'll be tiptoeing into it, let's say. I always like to test contracts, even if it's Pulsex. But Pulsex has been working pretty well, but you know how we roll. Testing is always a good thing. Charity Dunning says, love it sometime soon. I'll wake up and my phone will be blowing up because Pulsechain launches 100% charity. The other thing, of course, we've seen big YouTubers, right? Big YouTubers. I'm going to pull this up, actually, but let me just, where are we going here? Let me just get out of, where did I get this picture? Let me go to the Pulsex. I want to get out. I can't get out because these are all pictures. All right. Let's jump out of here and we're going to go into, let me get to there. Let me pull up this thing while you guys can't see it because I've hidden it. But let me, one thing I never brought up for the live show. So let me pull this up now. Where is it? Here it is, coming soon. Oh, that's right. We're going to look at Pepe. Remember, we're going to see where Pepe is because it's definitely that was an easy call to make on Pepe. But it will bounce back at some price. But where will it be? That's the question. Oh, I can't even. Where's this thing? Is it not here? Oh no. Oh, I can't see it actually. Oh, where's that? No, it's okay. It's not there. I thought it was here, but it's not. Anyway, we'll come back to that in a second. Frenzy's excitement is palpable, 100%. Charity says, love it sometime soon. Yep, we definitely got through that. Matt says, do you know, is the bridge going to be open on day one or still under construction? No, it's already built. So we're expecting it to launch 1 or 2 days later is kind of the expectation there. But hey, it's subject to them what they're going to do. Typically, they want to let something run for at least 24 hours before we get some US dollar prices. That's kind of the logic there. Curve Finance is going to forked as well. Well, that's great, right? So Curve Finance, particularly for their stable swaps, they use a different invariant for the stables, which is more efficient. And so, I wonder whether do you know who's doing that, gentlemen? Let me know who's doing that. I would encourage anybody in this Hex community to go to meetups, and if you don't have any near you, I'd encourage you to start your own. The cruise was my first. He's talking about the Hex cruise there out of Miami. It was the first proper meetup. Went on my own. Yeah, it looked pretty good though, Kate. It looked like you had a great time. What stays on Hex Tour? Hex Tour yacht cruise or cruise ship? It wasn't quite a yacht, was it? It was a giant cruise ship. Kate Figure says it was awesome and made many lifelong friends. Nice one. Yeah. Look, I covered many images and videos, particularly thanks to certain members of the community on the Hex cruise. It was very, very cool. Brendan Leclerc says waiting for Pulsechain to launch is literally the closest thing to waiting for a child to be born. Nice one there, Brendan. We are in crypto, so that is a pretty apt example. Analogy I was trying to think of. Andrew Reynolds says, I also wonder what dormant projects on ETH will spring back to life on Pulsechain. Yeah, it'll be a few. I'm not expecting too many, but definitely a few that were really good design, but the gas fees just killed them off. There's plenty of those out there. Sometimes they may get resurrected too. Let a caged bird fly if it still has wings. What else there? Let's see here. Let me jump through some of these comments. Smash the likes, says Brennan, 100%. Let me just go through some of those. We got Robert in there. Good to see you, Robert, as always. Big shout outs. What our property review in the house there. Great show today. Thanks, property review. Let me go through some of that. Astro says full send it. I think you're talking about to the yield farming. Is that what you're referring to, Astro? What else there? Jump through some of those. The one I deleted your comment about the Zen Dodge play. Yeah, probably, I was thinking it might have been that one. Yeah, I didn't quite get to see it. I saw your name and then I went, oh no, I deleted the wrong one. Hey, Superman, I was able to catch you after work. Yeah, nice one, Hex Force One. Yeah, because I'm late today, 4 hours late in my live stream. I had to time it after Randy Alaski's show as well. I had to leave it till after Randy finished. Smarter to go to bed early, if not at all. That's true. Robert Online says we're living in exciting times. We are 100%. Pulsechain. That's true. Up to the right with the rocket bags. Who else is in here? Jump through some of those. SJ Wild's in the house. Hey, we got royalty in the house, folks. Speaking of meetups, check out if we're coming to a city near you. Pulsechaintour.com. That is true. Pulsechaintour.com. So yeah, awesome stuff. Hey, SJ Wild, if you want to come on the show sometime for a fun time to come on, because it's going to be cool. I love what Wild SJ does. Amazing. So big shout out there. And SJ Wild was on the Hex cruise too, from memory. Yeah. So awesome stuff. Check out SJ Wild. Does all Sci-Vive audios. Does much more now though. It's completely broken out. Pulsechaintour.com. So definitely check that out. Love the van stuff. The stuff you have vlogs in the van when you're driving the van, all sorts of stuff like that. They're so cool. Tin Tops in the house there. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I'm about to get a double and I think I like it. I like that one, Tin Top. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we've got a few musicians in the house. What else there? Referring to mainnet, yeah. I definitely will be trying to get some of the incentive token. I want to get in early on that. So yeah, definitely be doing that. The cool thing is that I don't really care if the ratios trade too, like between Pulse and Pulsex. I'm not too worried about that because I think both are going to be doing super well. Obviously, you're always trying to say which one's going to do which more X's than the other, but I'm pretty happy either way, to be honest. So with a portion of what I want to put in there. A gentleman says, I think it was Buck from Fatty IO, or could have been eFiat and Famous Projects. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. So what these guys are doing is between Power City and these guys from Famous Project or Fiat, let's say, they are looking at all those TVLs and all those opportunities on the Ethereum chain, and you can go to DeFi Llama and you can see them all. We've done that many times here. And those are the ones that need to come over to Pulsechain. We've already got a lot of the top ones, but there's all these big ones around validating and delegating. They need to come over. And so we've got David, or we've got Alex McFerder looking at that. And actually, let's pull it up here while we're at it, because I've got the board. So let's pull that up, DeFi Llama. I won't have to try and remember what they all are, but let's jump into chains, and let's go down to Ethereum. Let me go to Ethereum here. There's 778 protocols tracked by them. So let's pull that up on the fly. Bam. All right, so yeah, we got liquid staking. So Lido. These are the big TVLs on Ethereum with all the big stakers. We've got obviously centralized exchanges doing it with Coinbase, but Rocket Pool. This is the one here. Let me just scroll it up there. This is the one. Oh, does it work? No, it's not working there. I've got the wrong thing pulled up. But Rocket Pool here is the one that Alex McFerder is looking at, which would be awesome, which means you can delegate, which is less than 32 million. So if you're a retail person, you've got 32 million, or maybe the price of Pulse, you're coming in later on. The price of Pulse has gone up 100x or whatever, then it's just too expensive for you as a retail player, and maybe you've got a couple $1,000 you want to invest. Then Rocket Pool will give you that opportunity through the Rocket Pool products to do less than 32 million Pulse, and it could be a fraction, like 100th of that amount. So that would be cool for you. We've already got 2 forks of Liquidity. So Liquidity is at number 12. So that's number 10. So it looks like Alex McFerder will probably be doing that. Let me jump through. So obviously we've got Uniswap already. That's Pulsex. That's a Pulsex there. We've got Aave. We've got Fiat. So that's one of the teams from Famous and Fiat. We've got Fiat. We've got Aave. We've got, so how many? We've got 1, 2. We've got, maybe this is probably coming. So let's say 3. We've got 2 forks of Liquidity through Liquid Loans and Ender Protocol from Power City. So we got that one there. What's that? Did I say 4 or 5? Is that 5? So whatever. And then, yeah, so we're just going down the list. These guys are going down the list, and they're picking out the ones that we haven't got, right, in different categories. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, they're going down to Curve. I think Curve's on there somewhere down here. Did I pass by it? Did I pass by Curve? Maybe I'll pass by Curve. Probably down here somewhere. So yeah, Curve will be down here somewhere, and so just going through these TVLs here. I can't see it on this one, but yeah, they'll be going through all these different lists and picking out cool things like Biffy and others like that. Let me just go to, I have to go to the other one there. I did it the other day, but it's a little fiddly. I'm playing around with that. All right, nice work. We've got Sparky in house there with lots of love. Cool to see you, Sparky. And General says so many projects still to come, so many more opportunities to get in early. 100%. It is going to be cool. It's not going to be anything cool. SJ Wild, I think I missed this one here from SJ Wild. Sorry about that, because I jumped from Genuine's one there. I would love to. Let's see. I set it up soon. Sounds great, SJ Wild. Look forward to seeing you soon. Twitter, DM me on Twitter if you like. That's probably the best way. Or get into our Discord, which is in the links in the video description, and you can contact me there. Cool. All right, let's pull up the crypto markets. So crypto here, BTC holding at 27,700 at the moment, down from that 29K did the other day. Bitcoin dominance 46.22% on the Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, we really want it to get over 30,500. That's going to be, I think a good signal for a bull run. At the moment, we're just kind of in a nice spot. It's a nice spot at the moment. We're not down to 11K and pray, which is, it's great to pick up Bitcoin for the move, but of course your portfolio goes down pretty dramatically and people start getting pretty upset. So we're kind of in a nice middle ground at the moment, but on the slightly weaker side. But that being said, we haven't got really much in front of us that could drag us down. Typically if the bank's going down, then crypto's kind of going up. Yeah, no Fed meeting for ages, and it looks like the Fed's probably pivoted. And some people are getting really bullish on a Fed actually moving down earlier, so we're getting that priced in as well. So I kind of feel like it's a great time to launch the Pulsechain, so we'll see. I think everything's kind of lined up perfectly for us, especially after the last 12 months of the bear market, where so much CeFi and centralized exchange stuff got wrecked, all the way from Terra Luna through to Celsius, which looks like they're trying to come back from nothing, Celsius to FTX and all that drama. So yeah, good times, perfect for Pulsechain. The market wants Pulsechain. Pulsechain is needed on every account. And now we've got super high gas fees from Ethereum and meme coins, and Bitcoin's under pressure from BRC tokens and ordinals. Now you got devs in the Bitcoin trying to get rid of BRC impact on the chain with the SegWit addresses. So there's all drama playing on here because they put so much pressure on the chains of Ethereum and Bitcoin now that Pulsechain is well needed. So stay tuned. Pulsechain is also going to be awesome. It's going to be, look, pretty much Richard Hart may have given the ultimate crypto to the crypto market at the perfect time. So stay tuned. Richard knows what's going on, and it's going to be fun to see him amplify its impact in the crypto market. It's going to be good. Right, let's get in. So that's pretty much it. BNB at $313. Let's jump over to Hex at the moment. So Hex had a nice little run up over the last few hours. We've got all the way up from we were at 5.7, got all the way up to almost 6 cents again. Just drifted off this last couple of hours at 5.8. But pretty cool. I actually think Maddie Allen and Randy were streaming during this period of time, so maybe that was pumping the price. Who knows? But all the news on Twitter Spaces as well. Twitter abound the updates from Bretex approval. Certainly got the market going there a bit. So let's go to the daily market there. Let's get into the auto logs, and we can see the RSI is just in the bearish territory for X. Pretty interesting. And obviously people are looking out for any liquidity changes in the liquidity pools as one of the signals there for imminent launch. So stay tuned for that. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that any of them have got particular insights. Maybe the wall, 5.4 cent wall, maybe they got insights. You can decide for yourself. Yeah, we will be watching that pretty closely. Swap. Let's go to the liquidity, pull that up, and have a quick look at the Uni V3 at the moment, what it looks like. Let's go to liquidity pool. And yeah, that's what we're looking at there. So that 5.4 still sitting there. So maybe these guys know something, but at the moment they're sitting there 5.4. But the rest of the market probably doesn't know when any inside information for the most part. And here we are right in the middle here. So the end of the tranche here is sitting at 7.3 cents. Not much change there. And the end of this tranche down here, which is $86,000 hex candles, up to that point is 9.9 cents. So 7.3, 9.9, and we got still got our big buy support there at 5.4. Yeah, food for thought there. Now over the last 24 hours, we've only had the 3.7 million hex. Or at least, yeah, over the last day, 3.7 million hex, sorry, bought for 219,000. That's the only one there so far. So that is good news, right? That's good for the price there. But it looks like we've got a few little retail plebs selling it down at the moment. No offense against retail plebs, but that's kind of the play. All right, let's have a look at our chart here. So Hex is down 2.3% on the 24-hour basis, which is not too bad. And we've had 135 buys over 97 sells. And we've had 47% buy volume. So the sell volume is still bigger, even despite our last couple of hour run that we had but earlier. And of course, we're sitting on Fibonacci. We're still actually, see the blue line? The blue line was our bear market line. So we're just bouncing along that. We have breached it once, twice. And of course, maybe 3 times was not an option. And we're up into the right there because it is going down right over time. And so if we bounce off this, it's pretty nice. That'd be cool. I've still got the launches here. So PC surprise that is gone. All our theories have gone. We're down to theory number 5 now, which is mid-May. So mid-May and pray. That's kind of where we are there, and that's still sitting here. Here we are, mid-May. That's theory number 5, and we went through all the other theories. You know, Epoch 555, the 5th of May, and we've done them all. And here we are, the 6th and 7th. We're already up to mid-May here. Looks like a good time. But maybe we've had the trigger by pre-tet there on GitLab today. Maybe it's all about to get on. Now, I still got my time frame. Remember my time frame? Let's not forget that. It was June to July. I kind of felt that's pretty good. But with the Fed pivot, we had the Fed pivot here. I do think this is probably most likely the Fed pivot now. That's like good timing, right? That's kind of where we want the market to be lined up. Everything seems to be lined up perfectly. So looking good on the chart. We are. And if we bounce off this blue bear market line, that'd be pretty cool. So that's kind of play. Let's zoom this in and have a look at the time frame. This is the Hex time. That's where we had the Hex bull market there. Look at that all the way back up here, 9th September 2021. Man, it's been a long time, hasn't it? And of course, there was the sacrifice here. This is the sacrifice, 15th of July. Where's that here? 15th of July. Man, it's been a while. So 15th of July, how many days is it now? I will pull this up. Just want to get accurate here. I've gone too far now. 10th there. So, oh man, 664 days. 664 days since the sacrifice of Pulsechain started, 15th of July. Isn't that crazy? 664 days, and we've been friends that long. We've been friends that long. All right, so there we are. That's pretty neat. That is the one there. But if you think about it, it's not too bad from the actual launch of Pulsechain from the sacrifice. So this is the ETH merge that happened on the 15th September. And, you know, we're looking pretty good, aren't they? Only 237 days since that time, which is pretty neat, which I think is pretty fast to get this up and running with 4 execution clients, the Go, the Aragon, the Prism, and the Lighthouse. To bring a pretty good setup there. And, of course, I've really been liking the fact that Gamma's been out there also doing the validator side. I think it's been pretty good. 212 days since Richard Hart announced that he'd be forking the proof of stake from Hexo's live stream as well. So looks like mid-May coming up pretty good here. And we'll also move through these big milestones with the V3 license. I suspect to see that on PulseX at some stage. Yeah, looking good. Woohoo! Right, PulseX V4 is in there as well. All right, so that's looking good, folks. Let us move on to the Hedron. Have a quick look at that. We're up to an hour and 13, so we're going to race through that. Hedron at the moment, 2,000, bouncing off 1868, sorry. It is now at 2,000, just about, and down 3% on 24 hours. 28 sells and 53% sell volume at 88K over 68K at 647 on the second biggest pair. Obviously, the biggest pair is Hedron X. We're sitting also in the bearish terrain, pretty similar to X, actually. 45, slightly lower though. And we've got a big fight between the buyers and sellers going on since the mid-April there. But buyers were in control right from the beginning of the year on the DMI. So let's have a quick look at the auctions here and go to the Ethereum. Let's get into here and have a look at how the HSIs are going. 2,210, so it's gone down a little bit from yesterday in liquidation queue, but the auctions, we've only got 10 on at the moment, 5 left to go. We've had 25 T-shares closed. That was pretty cool. 68% discount on those 25 T-shares. Unbelievable. Some good deals here. And then we've got 5 of these coming up there. A lot of B shares, 3 T-shares, 6 T-shares. So the 6 T-shares, 3 hours and a half hours to go. Got a 94% discount on it so far. That's the one to be looking at, folks. That one there. Not financial advice, but that is it. Pretty cool. Yeah, I was going to say, Power City has still got its one of the top utilities going to be on Pulsechain. It's still got their sacrifice open, and they've absolutely ramped up the last wee while as we lead into mainnet. They're at $10.9 million. Can you believe it? $10.9 million. Unbelievable how much they've raised now. Really puts them in the top list there. And you see the top one, they're $2 million in that. So Who was that? Question mark. I haven't actually looked. But look at the ramp up in the sacrifice. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. US dollars, other coins there. Amazing. Hex in there as well, ramped up, sacrificing. But congratulations to Power City. And they really have started to deliver. The Portal X is already running. The Earn protocol is on testnet v4. Pretty exciting. I don't know if Liquid Loans is actually up and running either yet. So we've got a look at Liquid Loans, see if they've got on the testnet v4. I did know they put out something earlier, but Liquid Loans, are they on the testnet? Let's go to testnet v4. Let's see if they are. No, they're still not up and running there. So they're obviously still trying to get themselves up there. Hopefully they'll get around to that sooner than later. Obviously, it's not, not always the easiest when you've got certain things to do. But that is pretty much it. The Earn protocol, though, is Power City. That is ticking away on the testnet. So let's have a look at the apps. Yeah, so the Portal X is working with over 60 dexes now. Amazing. But the Power City core is up and running. So the Earn protocol, sorry, is not. It is launching. So the Earn protocol has launched. I haven't actually played that. So someone asked me about that earlier, about the Earn protocol, and I said I had done 2 videos on that. I have not. I was confused with the Power City core, so I apologize for that. I had done the Power City core. I've gone through that twice, but the Earn protocol I have not even interacted. It's my first time here connecting up here, so that's the first time. So I will do a video on this probably tomorrow. It's probably tomorrow there. Stay tuned for that. We'll cover that. But that's pretty cool. So they've got their Earn protocol. This is the fork of Liquidity. And of course, with they're going to have their stablecoin, PXDC. And of course, they're going to have their, you will be putting Pulsechain in here to issue yourself some PXDC, which is pretty cool. And that is neat. And I do have Pulsechain in my wallet, which is pretty cool. You haven't borrowed any Pulsechain? I'll have to go through all those steps here. So I will probably go through that tomorrow. Stay tuned. Cool. I didn't realize they snuck up on, didn't it? So cool. They've also got these other products that are all going to be buying with all the fees that they earn, the amplifier, the marketplace for NFTs, the accelerator. These are all going to be buying Pulsechain, I guess, and people are going to be earning that in the Power Core. So it's definitely going to be a well sought after protocol. And you can see the market has spoken. $10.9 million gone into it so far. Real accelerate. They were stuck around 3 million for ages, and it's really ramped up there. Now the Hex daily stats. Let's get into that. Day 12.54. We got the 9th of May, 2023, and the price there 5.8 cents. We're down 2.7% for the day. The payout per T-share, just another great day in the office. If you got T-shares, 6.527 in Hex, pretty nice. Share rate's gone up 4.5 to 27,112. We've got the share price at the moment, $1,579. The average mining length now just absolutely record highs here, 7.02 years. Pretty brilliant. And APY there, 38.98% in Hex terms. Pretty amazing. Liquidity in the pool's gone up from 77 million to 81.6 million. US dollars has gone down a little bit there to 3.6 million. And ETH pool's gone down there to 1148 ETH. The snapshot there, sorry, not snapshot, at the snapshot for the day. And of course, with T-shares are down 3,900. Oh man, we're down to 9,965,000. OMG, it feels good to be a T-share holder. And looking at some of those people picking up T-shares, they are 555 days generally in the ICOSA auctions. So the Hedron auctions are pretty amazing for the HSIs. Pretty crazy. So 9,965, amazing. We have lots of these big front-running whales coming out all the way through the 18th. So we've got another week of these big wallets coming out, and I guess a lot of them are just holding liquid Hex in the anticipation of Pulsechain. I guess that's what they're doing. Some of them are getting T-shares out further. We have seen that too, but I gather that there's probably still quite a bit just sitting liquid there. Just that's my assertion, so don't have much evidence for that other than the T-shares going down every day. So it's pretty good evidence, but yeah, that's where we go. Locked percentage of coins, 9.39%. We had $900,000 in Hex penalties today, 65 million in payouts, pretty nice. And the wallets here, so we're up 90 on liquid holders to 333,910. Our headline number of the miners there down 32. Obviously, with all these big front-running large holders that normally short mining, now out from the looks of it. And the change in total holders 208. We're up to 557,797 holders. The other thing, of course, the share rate's going up against them, so they get less T-shares regardless, right? So that's pretty much it. We're on day 1255. Our base payout is around about 6.481 Hex, and we've got Pulsechain coming soon. 2 passive incomes on 2 alpha chains. It's going to be fun to see that, and look forward to it. So we're probably going to have some volatility potentially around Hex, and we'll see how that gets on when the mainnet launches. Pretty cool. That is neat. Maybe we might spend a little bit of time doing that on the old Pulse Hex. So on the Power City, we might spend a bit more time. We're up to an hour and 20. Think we've got time, folks. Think we've got time. Yield farming will be epic, says Astro. 100%. I think it's going to be very cool. Let me jump down through some of those comments. Free for mainnet 2 while it lasts. They have a plan to fund the faucet, but there may be too much demand. Well, the faucet they're going to have to do at the Genesis block, aren't they, Tintop? I guess they could do it separately. We'll see what they do there. Time to buy more, says QQ. 100%. Not financial advice. 664 days. Yeah, just Brennan. I always like to do those flashbacks there. 2 more days, says Hex Glenn. Yep. It flew by so fast. Wow, says QQ. Day 666, says Sparky. That's funny. I agree. 6666. Yeah, that'd be funny. Can we slow down a bit? Hold the launch. I'm not ready for this yet, says QQ. Yeah, well, you know, we'll see how we go there for that. We'll see. We cannot always deliver since Richard and his team are the ones that control everything. Brian says, sup, folks? Good to see you, Brian. One of our 2 community leaders. Big shout out. No test tokens will be copied to mainnet. That's correct. Yeah, test tokens are just test tokens. Don't sleep on Hedron Icosa or Alex, says Spucky. Yeah, so Alex has talked about doing Rocket Pool and using the insurance token as Icosa. So if that does occur, that's super bullish for Icosa, big time potentially, particularly with the big following he has. Having a big following is really important to making a protocol successful too. We can't just easily say that we're going to have the same results as on Ethereum because they've taken, the different path to time. But I imagine some of the protocols will end up being very big, just like the number of users on Ethereum will be big on Pulsechain. Detached Soul in the house there. Yo, good to see you. Greg says apologies accepted. Lol. Hey, you're welcome, Greg. I got confused on that one. I didn't think about what you were saying there. The bags are loaded. I'm ready for airdrop copies. There's a Detached Soul, 100%. And Groot's got the rockets. I love it. Need more T-shares. Need those copies soon. Yeah. So everything that you get on Ethereum at the moment, that includes particularly for Hex, if you've got staked Hex or liquid Hex, both of them they're all getting copied. So your liquid Hex will be copied over as liquid PHEX or Hex on Pulsechain, and your stakes will get copied over on the Pulsechain as well. Now, Alex McFerder's Icosa app, it allows you to interact on all the chains, including the previous forks on the proof of stake, the ETH Power and ETH Fair. So it's really neat, and the testnet. So Alex is pretty quick at getting those enabled, which is pretty cool. Brian says 9,045 Hex stake today for 3650. Gets you 1 T-share. Yeah, wow. That's good insight, Brian. There we are, folks. What else there we're up to? Simple Belief says the next big thing we need to solve is crypto off-ramp with all the big exchanges going bankrupt. Yeah, well, we have Coast. We have Coast. Coast is going to be doing a Fed on-ramp, off-ramp. That's part of also Richard Hart's vertical integration, if you remember. And they've got a stablecoin CSD coming to Pulsechain. I just feel like they're probably going to be up first with the stablecoin, so they could be the first to the market. I know that Power City will probably be looking to get in early, but there is competition. They say there's no competition, right? But there's a little bit of competition there, a bit of kudos, bit of liquidity providing, whichever protocol gets up first, right? There is a bit of that going on. So just quietly between you guys and us and me. So cool. Right, let's jump over past that. Let's have a little look on here. Let's go. Let me have a look here. So this is the protocol here. I was just going to log on. So I've got redemptions of risk vaults here. I have to approve this once I do it, I guess. You can borrow PX. Let me just make this a bit bigger because it's a bit bigger there. Let's look here. You haven't borrowed any PXDC. This is the stable coin from Power City's M protocol, a fork of Liquidity. You can borrow PXDC by opening a vault. Please approve Pulsex token to open. Now, I do have Pulsex in my wallet, which is cool. I don't have much, but I've got some. I could go harvest my incentive tokens and buy more Pulsex, but we're going to approve that. I'm just going to use Max because it's my test wallet here. What is this? I've got to reject these other transactions first. Let's do that. So let's go in here. This is Power City, a Power City Earn protocol. Let's do that next. It's going to cost me 0.00065 test pulse. Waiting for confirmation. Oh, nice little interface. I must say I have enjoyed the interfaces from Power City. I think they make a nice user experience. They give you plenty of information too, which is good. I like all the question marks. I really get annoyed when it's not question marks. It's just like, what does this mean? What's the definition of this? What is this actually saying? You know, it's not always clear. You can borrow PXD by opening a vault. Yeah, we're going to open a vault. Max. Oh yeah, let's do it. 450 Pulsex. Yeah. Okay, so what's this here? So I'm putting my Pulsex in, depositing my Pulsex as collateral. I might just do 64,000 just as a 64,000. Well, let's just do 60,000 as just to make it nice and even. That'll get me $450 PXDC. So that's a stable coin that I'm going to get, which is kind of cool. You can actually edit that from the looks of it. You can edit that. Liquidation reserve 50 PXDC. So any amount set aside to cover the liquidator's gas costs if your vault needs to be liquidated. The amount increases your debt and is refunded if you close your vault by fully paying off its net debt. All right, so cool. So that's cool. Borrowing fee is 7.52 PXDC, 1.6%. This amount is deducted from the borrowing amount as a one-time fee. There are no recurring fees for borrowing, which is thus interest-free. So that is that. Total debt is $507 $52 PXD. Now remember, these are basically just dollars, right? They're kind of equivalent to US dollars. The total amount of PXD in your vault, you'll need to repay this amount, 4,557 to reclaim your collateral. 50 PXDC liquidation reserve excluded. So that's the 50 that's on top there. So 450 plus 50 plus 7.5 equals 507. And I will need to repay 457 because I've already got 50 in reserve. Collateral ratio 739%. Well, that seems pretty good because I'm pretty sure that 150% is the challenging mark. The ratio between your dollar value of the collateral and the debt in the PXDC you are depositing, while the minimum collateral ratio is 110% during normal operation, it is recommended to keep the collateral ratio always above 150% to avoid liquidation under recovery mode. Now, recovery mode is like the whole platform, so everybody's under the thumb there. So if you're under 150%, it does get to that point. Then if you're under 150%, you risk being liquidated. The collateral ratio above 200%, so 250% is recommended for additional safety, which I've got. I'm doing pretty nicely, 740. That's very, very good. You will deposit 60,000 Pulsex and receive $450. Let's confirm that. So this is pretty more of a safe move. So if there's a dramatic move in Pulsex price, I've got a lot more protection as if I did, borrowed a lot of stuff and got my ratio down to like 150 or 110 even. So that's kind of cool. Waiting for confirmation. Yeah, I like the little pop-up dialog box here. Cool. So that's confirmed. You can see that. That's pretty nice. What else there? I can close the vault, but I'm not going to do that. Or I can adjust the vault. So I guess I can increase my borrowings. Stability pool. There's 31,955 earn remaining. So this seems to be some sort of incentive. You have no PXDC in the stability pool. You can earn Pulsex and earn rewards for depositing Pulsex, which is the stable coin. You earn approximately 10% per year at the moment. Estimated of the earn reward on your PXDC deposit to the stability pool over the next year, not including your PLSX gains from liquidations. That's kind of cool. I feel sorry for liquidations, but that's kind of cool there. It's got the formula, which is pretty nice. Doesn't show over the overlay. The problem is I've got the green box and it's sort of hiding some of the overlay of the formula. But we're going to deposit a little bit there. Why not? Max? No, we're not going to do max, but we're going to do $300. We've got 0.0001% of the pool. Let's confirm that. because we're going to take the stable coin, the rest of it, and hopefully get something else out of it. Pulsex at the moment on, it's got the price feed there. So this is where the oracle, the price feed, where it's going into Pulsex, what are the oracles it has. And this may indicate that the Power City is going to try and get up really early on this one. So we'll see. We'll see. I haven't listened to any of their dialogues around what they're using. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be using at least more than one, right? Because just using one price feed is pretty dangerous for protocol. So that is earning. So kind of cool. I guess we've got our pool share there. Liquidation gain, that's an addition, but so we're looking for a reward there. Maybe if I come back tomorrow, that will have some stuff. It's only 10%. So yeah, already got the claim button up there for my Pulsex and earn protocol. So we'll wait for that later on. Staking, you haven't earned a staked earn yet. That's because I don't own any, so I don't have any earn. I could probably go and buy some though. This is actually interesting. It could have a button. One thing would be to have a buy button here. Let me have a look here. I guess if I click up the pop here, no. So what would be cool, I guess once they actually have the market go up, would be to actually have these a buy button here to go buy some of these like earn protocol. That would be good feedback there for the team if they're listening. If they're out there somewhere, that would be cool. I don't know. Let me see. Let me not jump the roost here. I'm clicking around the thing just to make sure I've got some. Maybe I'm missing something there. Borrowing fee, 1.67%. TVL, 61 billion. Pulsex. Vaults, 261. So 261 people have set up vaults on the testnet V4 for Pulsechain. $406 million supply. So there's some big players out there compared to my little 60,000 Pulsex. And PXDC instability pool, 242 million, which is 59.7% of the supply, I think, from the looks of it. Staked earned 30,000 already earned so far. Crazy. Look at that. Amazing. Total collateral ratio is 940. So people are pretty risk averse there with that. Normally these will go down towards like 200, 250, I think. If you go to liquidity protocol, I'm pretty sure they're down at that level. People take a lot more risk. Recovery mode, that's not, we don't have to worry about that. That's 150%. The Pulsex allowance. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is about, but that's there. So what does it say there? Pulsex allowance. I'm not sure what that means. Could have a better definition in there because I don't know what that means. What else there? Pulsex price, kind of cool. This could have a button to go buy it, so I could go buy go buy some because I need some, right? So I'm going to have to pull up Pulsex for this, which is I have to do this manually now. So apart from that, it looks great. The site looks great, but yeah. So I've got a little bit of Pulsex here. 4161. So that makes sense now. So this is what I've got left over in my wallet, which is allowance kind of is a bit confusing. It should be PLXX wallet balance or something like that. That'd be a bit more clear. What I've got here. So that's in my wallet there. 150 PDX. I've got that as well. I'm not sure if there's actually a PDX let's see in here. So what is the contract for that? What is the contract for the PXD there? I'm not sure. Let me go to the end product. Let's see if it's popped up on the info tabs. Normally they have these links, but let me look. PXDC, there it is. Boom. So yeah, view on Pulsechain as well. So we can actually go see how much is on there. I don't know if it's going to show with the indexing though. So we're going to copy the address though, because we want the address. We could just go to trade. That's easy to do. That is one there. So we've got to understand. I'm going to add that address. We've got my $150 here. Nice. So I put Pulsex and I got stable coins out. I put 300 out of the 450 in the pool there, the staking pool, the stability pool. But I can take the other $150 and I can buy more Pulsex. So I can go do that, and it will get me 2,485 more Pulsex. So I just have to enable the Pulsex DC spend. So I'm going to do that. Bam. So this is where leverage plays in, right? So I'm locking away Pulsex, which is a good thing for the supply. Reduces the supply. I now get stable coins, and then I just take the stable coins and go buy more Pulsex, and then I can lock that away too if I want. So that's cool supply sinks. Everyone else loves it because imagine thousands of people doing this, then there's less Pulsex around, and it's kind of bullish, right? This is in addition to all those pools that got Pulsex locked away in the liquidity pools because people are trying to get incentive token. That's in addition to like Fiat, the fork of Aave, where people putting PulseX in there to earn a yield in the old banking DApp there. So it's kind of neat like that. More supply sinks, the better, right? And then we've got the buy and burn, the big buy and burn. Every trade going through 0.07% is going to buy and burn PulseX on every single trade. And so $1 billion of trade value, $700,000 of buy and burn a day. Beautiful. So if we can become a super DEX and then a mega DEX, game on. Game on there. All right, PulseX to MetaMask. I've already got that, so I don't need to add that. And transaction receipt that's been approved. Look at that. My PXDC's gone down, my stablecoin. My PulseX has gone up. And so does it update? Yeah, it's updated straight away. Smooth. That's smooth on the UI. That's a really nice smooth update there. So just a couple little things here. This allowance thing. I'm not sure why that's maybe that's the standard time frames. Being able to buy PulseX on the website would be cool. Obviously, maybe they'll toggle that on. Maybe it's a fake thing they've got. Risky vaults. Let's have a look at that. So this is the dashboard page. So this is the dashboard page where you do all your action. But there are 2 pages here: redemption and risky vaults. So you can go and have a look at all the risky vaults here. Look at these people here: 110% collateral on their little vault, 121 on their vault, 122% on their vault. So that's all the ones. So vaults basically you put your PulseX in, you get stablecoin out, and it's kind of your vault there. So it's your borrowing mechanism. It's got a little bin here. Collateral ratio not low enough. Collateral ratio not low enough there. I guess you can liquidate them, right? Liquidate up to 90. Really? Oh man, that's crazy. Liquidation expected to be carried out by bots. Early on, you may be able to manually liquidate votes, but as the system matures, this will become less likely. And there is the end statistics there. I think we've got the same ones. Yeah, same one across all the pages. Redemptions are expected to be carried out by bots. Redeem PXD. So if we go to the dashboard, that's sort of the global statistics. But if we go to the validator, we can do that. Now I can adjust the vault, adjust your trove there just by, I guess, increasing the amount of here, or amount of debt I want to take on. So I'll cancel that, or I can close the vault. You need 4,571 PXD to do that. Now, as you guys know, I bought more PulseX, so I'm hoping the price of PulseX goes up in terms of against the US dollar, and then I'll be able to make a profit and then buy back my stable coins, I guess, with that. So if I want to close it, you need 457 PXDC more to close your vault, which I don't, right? So I guess that's the idea. Right. So yeah, we'll leave that at that this stage. And that is the testnet there for Earn Protocol. So that was kind of a bonus piece of material there. And it was all, you can all blame Greg. You can all blame Greg for that, because Greg got that one up going. Thanks, Greg. We appreciate that. But that was cool. That was cool just to play around with that. That's hot off the press there. Nice. What else are we up to? I heard there was a rumor that Coinbase is leaving the US. Any truth to that? Any truth to that? Yes, they're looking to go offshore to get around the regulator. We covered it on a lot of live stream. I can't remember exactly what it was. We did cover that news article on there. I just can't remember the details, but they're definitely going offshore. Nice interfaces, Brennan. Yeah, definitely nice. Who was else up there? A Simple Believer. Yeah, around the insurance token, we'll probably go through the Pocket Protocol, because I'm looking at doing an intermediate video on the yield farming with optimizing and aggregation. So we'll go through that on that. CBS set up license in other countries. I think they have not left US, but they are looking to set up other contingency plans. Yeah, that's true. Hex is the GOAT, 100%. Brendan says, will there be a cap on how much you can loan? I'm guessing. Yeah, we went through that. So you get 110% collateral. They won't let you go below that, which is like a 90 something percent borrowing of your assets. So you PulseX, you're borrowing right up against it, about 90%. You wouldn't want to do it though, because too volatility. You want to definitely have a nice big, stuff there. A lot of people will be doing more short-term lending too. There'll be long-term, short-term. That's easier at the beginning, right? Because you got the chances of it going up over time, but probably not the first couple of days. But by the time they launch the protocol, the prices will be a lot more stable. At least we would hope so. Yes, sir, says Smucky. Yes, sir. Have a good night, Hexagon family. Here we go. Thanks to the content always. You're welcome, Smucky. And we'll see you next time. Archipelago says, I'll be really nice when they add amplifier to automate those actions to earn and liquid loan protocol 100%. So that's a good point, because they're going to add on those to make those a lot easier to run your earn and liquid loans protocols and get bigger yield, more yield. Archipelago game changer 100%. Lighting the candles there. Cheers, Superman says, Brennan. Hey, we're up to now in 41 minutes, so we're going to end there. Hope you guys have enjoyed the live stream. Yes, Pulsechain Mainnet is getting ever so close, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. Here is the Hex price at the moment. It is at 5.783 cents. So I hope you guys have a good day. Until next time, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. I'm going to play out a few videos on the way out of Richard Hart, the man himself, about to launch the biggest chain that we've ever seen. Boom, 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 boom. All right, take care, everybody. Bye for now.
If it accrues so much value and gets so many users, yeah, the fees will go up. And you'll just get really, really rich holding Pulse watching. Oh no, more really, really rich people. Like, you can't, here's the thing. You cannot force a free market to keep things cheap, because then crappy use cases that aren't valuable will outbid useful and valuable use cases. And do you want your chain with limited capacity to be filled up with crap? No, you don't want your chain filled up with crap. You want it filled up with nice, good things. Well, then how do you know what the difference between nice and crap is? By bidding. And the people that see more value in the chain pay more to use the chain. And then your limited resource chain, through the bidding mechanism, is filled with the most valuable things that people can fill it with. And so this like socialist USSR decree that, oh, we're just going to have cheap fees forever, it doesn't work. Because there's a finite amount of space and you have to allocate it to certain users. And who should you allocate it to? Those that can most afford it, because they're bidding with their money for how valuable the transaction is. So the solution to a limited resource isn't to screw around with the pricing. The solution to a limited resource is to create more of the resource. So the Ethereum chain is full. Great. Well, we're going to make one with 4 times more throughput, and it won't be full. It'll be empty, and let's go fill it up. Light the candles up for Pulse launch. That's a good idea. Yeah, I'll do that. Hello, everybody. I've waited a very long time for this day. It's finally come. I'm very happy. So let's talk about what happened. We've had the contract done, the code that makes Hex what it is, for a good long while. And we just wanted to make sure absolutely everything was right. So we got 2 independent audits from 2 different auditors. We got a mathematics audit. That's 3 audits. They're expensive and they're time consuming. And they do 2 things. They, 1, convince you that there's no bugs. And 2, they present that evidence to the audience in a format that they can understand. So if you look on hex.win right now, down under the security tab, you can see how to use hardware wallets with MetaMask, which is the wallet that we suggest for Hex. And you'll also see the mathematics audit and one of the security audits. Now, touch-up needs to be done on this. They need to be super duper finalized and prettied up. We'll get there. Since the bug finding phase is over, no reason to delay. What else? So the contract was supposed to launch at 7 p.m. EST, and I think we're 5 hours late. I'm not even sure how many hours late. And what that's going to do is it's going to make this first day, the adoption amplifier, where people send Ethereum in and it gets transformed into Hex, it's going to make it a little shorter. It's not actually going to have any effect after this day. So, actually I could look at the wallet. I've got the wallet in the browser here. Wrong computer, streaming computer. I don't have the wallet. I don't have the browser here. So if you go to hex.win right now, or if you want a 10% bonus, pumpamentals.com, You can click anyone's ref link. It's going to give you that same bonus. There's nothing special about pumpamentals.com. It's just the one that I talk about a lot. You could go to anybody else's. You'll still get the same 10% bonus. It works on the adoption amplifier where you transform ETH into Hex, and it also works on the free claim. Now, free claims will open. So here's the phase that we're in right now. The phase that we're in right now is there's a contract. It has all the game theory in it. It has all the logic in it. It has all the security in it. And for you to be able to talk to that contract, to be able to run that code, you either need to be really, really smart and go on something like etherscan.io and use their write contract feature, which allows you to interact with smart contracts manually. It's harder. Or you can do the easy way and go to go.hex.win. That's go.hex.win. I suggest you use https://. We like that security, the S. So if you want to run this code, so in Hex, you are the network. You mint your own coins, just like Bitcoin. If you're a Bitcoin miner, you brute force, find a hash of a nonce that has a number of, starting zeros in front of it. And that's the difficult problem that you solve. It's not actually difficult. It's just energy consumption. It's literally the dumbest math you could possibly do, but you're doing a lot of it. It's not actually a difficult problem. It's just an energy intensive problem. So Bitcoin miners mine their own rewards, and Hex stakers and people that use the adoption amplifier also mine their own rewards. When you open up MetaMask, you have to tell it where the contract address is of the software that you want to run, because you are the network. You are the only one that can mint your rewards. You're the only one that can stake your coins. You're the only one that can claim your coins. There are no coins unless I haven't even looked at the contract. I haven't even seen how many people are using it. We tested it and everything was perfect. And then I started prepping to talk to you guys. I'm seeing reports in chat that there's 560 Ethereum in there right now. Great. So how did people get 560 Ethereum into the adoption amplifier? Well, they went to go.hex.win, or they're really smart and use the manual way. And there's a tutorial, there's a guide on the front page of hex.win. It's the second video down. First video tells you why we're doing all this stuff, to replace the banks and do things Bitcoin can't do, even though it's great software, even though it's got, tons of really good things going for it. There's just some things it can't do, and it's never going to be able to do. So it only pays miners inflation. People think that Bitcoin's not proof of stake. It is proof of stake. It means you have stake and mining hardware and electric bills. So it's a different form of proof of stake. It's the kind of stake that kind of, pollutes the environment a little bit. It's necessary. And so my point is, right now, those people that are sending Ethereum into the adoption amplifier, the reason they're doing that is because at the end of this day, they're going to get 1 billion hex. So if let's say there was 10,000 ETH in there, if you sent 1,000 ETH, you would get 10% of the 1 billion hex at the end of the day. So this is really interesting because really no one can get like a worse ratio than they deserve, because the other peers are setting it, right? So it's not like someone can get a better deal than you by getting in earlier than you. It doesn't work that way. At the end of the day, everyone's getting the same ratio. It's prorated. Like if you're a bigger dude, you put in more money, you're going to get more hex out. By the way, I'm usually a little bit better at the old streaming and talking stuff, but I haven't slept in a long time. And so if you want to join the adoption amplifier, which is the only thing that's going on today. So yesterday we had the snapshot, went perfect. Everything went fine. Then we processed that snapshot today, and we took a top hash, which is also called a Merkle root, which is weird because they're opposites, right? So it's a Merkle root or a Merkle top hash. And what that does is it lets us very space efficiently store all of the data of all of the balances of the Bitcoin blockchain, the ones that are relevant to our project. We don't let multisig claim. So all those whales with multisig wallets, you guys watching, you don't have multisig whales. Whales do. Okay, you guys can't claim. Mt. Gox trustee, 138,000 Bitcoin. Can only sell them legally. No free coins for you, buddy. He's out. And once we did all the reductions and ran the math on the UTXO set before we top hashed it, I think there was only about 9.8 million Bitcoin or 9.86 million Bitcoin that could actually try to claim of the about 18 million total coins. So right off the bat, you know that as a staker, you're going to be given, like if you were the only staker in the system on day 353, you would get all of those coins, over half of the claim supply. But you'd actually end up getting more because those will get multiplied by up to threefold with the critical mass and virality bonuses. Math isn't exactly 3. So for instance, if a lot of really small addresses claim, then that pumps the reward more because, well, the math's hard to describe to you. So if I'm giving you unclaimed coins and then multiplying them by the percent that was claimed, it's they both end up going up, but like hard to explain math, right? So more claims moves the bonuses higher faster than larger claims does. Because while a larger claim is inflating its multiplier, it's also deflating what's being multiplied by, which is the unclaimed coins, right? So at least now, what other coins are going to be given out to all the people at the day 353? Satoshi's probably not going to claim. I think he's deceased. If he wants to come out and claim, he's totally allowed to. It's awesome. People are going to get a lot of late penalties. So if you don't claim your free coins, you start bleeding out 2% every week. And by week 50, you have nothing left. You can't claim anything. That prevents people like the Mt. Gox trustee from seeing a wonderful project, an innovative project with passionate, inspired, awesome people, of which so many people helped out tonight. We've got volunteers from all around the world. Everything that needs done, they help get done, right? They see that there's some spammers hitting up the chat room trying to scam people. Hey man, put me on as mod. And there's people I know, I trust them. All right, mod up, man. And then they go and kill the spammers, right? Beautiful. Great work. Thanks, Dan. We got 2 Dans. Thank you both, Dans. You did great work tonight. And then we've got Meme Squad making amazing memes. Now, because we've had so many, we've had, a couple thousand people join the chat room over the last week or 2, I think. I should publish the stats. The rate at which, I would go to sleep for 4 hours, and I'd wake up and there'd be, 1,000 messages. So if I slept 8 hours, it would be about 2,000 messages. And then it went absolutely crazy today. You can't do these types of world-changing, impactful things without help from people. You just can't. And what I found is that people that are passionate about the project are just hyper efficient. They really, really care. We've got, all right, guys, it's been absolutely fabulous. I haven't heard anyone's voice, but I felt connected.
Yeah.